Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Today, we are taking a look at Jordan Spieth's golf swing in 2021. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be doing Jordan Spieth's golf swing 2020 versus 2021. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe, and obviously comment any thoughts you have down below. But let's dive into this and take a look. We have driver from down the line, driver from front on, iron down the line, iron front on, and even some short game action too in really slow motion from the US Open Championship. So let's dive in. First of all, we're going to take a look at the best one, driver down the line. This is what most of you guys want to see. And there's some really interesting changes Jordan has made to his golf swing. It's actually pretty incredible how different his golf swing was in 2020 to how different it is in 2021. And you guys will see that in the next video. So now, first of all, set up driver down the line. Really good setup. I like a lot about this. The lower body, that is like the perfect amount of knee bend. Hips are over ankles. I love that. It looks to me like he might be trying to hit a fade here because his shoulders look a little bit open in his alignment. If we look at his feet are kind of aimed slightly further right than his hips and shoulders. So it could be a swing change there. It could be just be trying to hit a fade in this one. As we take the club back, if we pause it, big wide takeaway, if we pause it kind of parallel to the ground, quite an interesting takeaway here. We recently took a look at Harris English's golf swing, and if you did watch that video, well, if you didn't watch that video, I highly recommend checking it out. But kind of a similar-ish takeaway where the hands have actually moved slightly away from Jordan's body here. And I also recently did probably a month or two ago, I did a video on Jordan Spieth's exaggerated practice swing rehearsals. If you haven't seen that, maybe check it out after this, because in that video, this will be one thing Jordan is kind of trying to exaggerate to fix, is trying to get the hands and arms working a little bit more inside and then up on the takeaway. But here Jordan's hands and the club have moved quite wide and a bit away from him. Now as we play this to the top, quite a lot of wrist set quite early actually, quite interesting this. And if we keep playing it to the top, gets those hands up above that shoulder plane, pulls it to the top, that club is very, very, very laid off. To the point where there's not many players, I would say, who get the club more laid off than that. I'm not even sure if Sergio Garcia gets the club more laid off than that. But let's take a look at this and work our way from the ground up. We can see, looking at his feet, a lot of his weight is loaded into that right side, the right heel. Again, love that. Really good position to be in there. Great spine angle, maintained his spine angle really good, like a lot of these positions. Right elbow quite bent, we talk about maybe 90 degrees being around where you want the right elbow to be. Quite a bent right elbow. And also look at the left wrist, a very bowed left wrist. And there's also something interesting here going on with the left arm, which we'll be able to take a look at from front on when we take a look at that swing in a moment. Now, pretty interesting, pretty unique position here. And from here, Jordan is going to shallow the club. The club works kind of in behind him and quite flat, but then gets back out in front of him as he pulls those hands and arms out in front of him. Jordan Spieth has a lot of rotation as he comes through here. Rotates really hard. If we pause it parallel to the ground, really good position here. The club head just outside the hands. Looks like he's probably trying to hit a fade here. Very, very rotational golf swing. Very open hips to the target, and shoulders kind of square in this position. And club face also pretty square to the spine angle. And that right elbow, the right arm, very tucked in and connected to the body. Right heel just starting to lift up off the ground. If we play this down into impact, pause it at impact, and the shoulders have now started to catch up with the hips and the lower body, and they're now open to the target too. Jordan doesn't probably get as much recognition as he should do for how much rotation he has in his golf swing. And also, again, great spine angle here. Really good posture and spine angle, which is great to see. And from here, he's going to release the club, extend the arms. He doesn't really release the club or turn the toe over too much. Kind of holds on to that club face and Jordan gets that kind of classic little chicken wingy kind of follow through as he comes through here to the target. It looks like it was a pretty good shot, pretty nice high fade there. So let's just play this through once or twice for you guys to take a look at. The main things, you know, there's some really interesting things going on here, and when we take a look at this versus 2020, there's a lot that's different about Jordan Spieth's golf swing. It's actually pretty incredible how much he's changed in such a short space of time, and obviously now he is hitting the ball a lot better. But I love the club path on the way back. I love the kind of plane he takes the club back on, and then in the downswing, how much rotation there is pretty incredible, guys. It's not an easy thing to do, and there's a few more things we're going to have a look at from this front on angle now, which you couldn't really see from that position. Let's take a look at this now. This is Jordan Spieth front on angle with the driver, guys. So perfect position to take a look at here. As we, well, first of all, setup. You can almost see a little bit from here that it does look like Jordan Spieth's shoulders are a little bit open to the target compared to the rest of his alignment. So maybe that is something he's just changed in his setup, or again, maybe he's just trying to hit another fade. He is trying to hit more fades than draws these days. And pretty neutral setup, good position, I like that a lot. And this was always the angle that Jordan Spieth had trouble with in his swing, and again, I'll be talking more about in the next video. As we slowly take the club back, big wide takeaway, like that a lot. If we pause it parallel to the ground, you know, it's funny, a lot of pros get into, you know, from this position, their swings look very, very similar in this position from front on. You can see him starting to load into that right hip, into that right glute, really good there, big wide takeaway. Starts to hinge the wrists now as we take it to the top, and starts to hinge them, and if we slowly pause it at the top, there are a few really interesting things to talk about that are going on here. First of all, let's work from the ground up. Jordan is nicely loaded into the right side. He has had a little bit of lateral movement to his right in the backswing. He has shifted his body slightly to the right, which is again something he used to do, and we're going to be talking about that in the next video. I'm trying not to give too much away for the next video for you guys, because there's a lot I want to talk about with his old swing compared to this. But we're just talking about this swing. So he shifted a bit of weight laterally to the right, and good shoulder turn, good hip turn, good spine angle. Look at his left arm. There is quite a lot of bend in that left elbow. Quite interesting that. There's a few players who do this, kind of. Xander Schauffele does it a little bit, Brooks Koepka does it quite a lot, and some release that bend in the golf swing and some just hold on to it. So we'll be able to take a look at in a second which one Jordan's going to do. Also quite long with the club at the top here, just past, you know, a bit past parallel, and that again is largely due to the bend in that left arm. If that left arm was straight, that club probably would be more around parallel. And if we now start to play this swing down into the ball, we're going to see the weight laterally shifting back to the left as he starts to rotate really hard. He shifts the weight, then rotates, club shallows nicely, maintains his spine angle, and then if we slowly come into impact, starts to lean back just a little bit. If we pause it at impact, great position to have a look at here. There's, again, some really interesting things going on. Jordan kind of, in that downswing, shifted his weight laterally left, then started to rotate, then slightly started to back out of it. And you can see his hands actually here, even though this is driver, his hands are actually ahead of the ball, of the, you know, the shaft is leaning forward, which typically isn't something you would want with driver. You'd kind of maybe want a slightly more vertical shaft, where some players even get it behind to launch that ball as high as possible. And there's a few other things to mention here. It's a good spine angle, but he's just started to back out of it. Again, we can see he's held on to that bend in the left arm. And look at the lower body now. Look at his left foot and left ankle. It kind of makes me cringe to look at a little bit, but he's rolled onto like the outside of his left ankle. And this is something Jordan's kind of always done, but it does make me worry a little bit for the health and safety of his left ankle. So maybe that's something to bear in mind for the future watching him. But as we play it through from impact, he's going to hold on to that left arm. Look at that left arm. He doesn't let it turn over. He extends the right arm. Doesn't let anything really release over too much. Keeps the hands and arms nicely in front of him. Huge amount of extension as well as he comes through, kind of leaning back a little bit, but nice balanced finish. And let's just play this back once or twice. And again, guys, let me know if you have any other thoughts. If there's anything you think I've missed here, I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment down below. Please do, let me know, guys. I do want to hear from you guys about this. Yeah, it's there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here to sum up. But he shifts his weight laterally to the right in the takeaway and backswing. Gets a little bit of a bent left arm. Kind of holds on to that in the downswing as he shifts his weight laterally back to the left, rotates, and then kind of backs out of it a little bit and holds on to that club face. That's kind of a brief summary of Jordan's swing here from this angle. And again, now let's take a look at Jordan Spieth hitting iron. Again, this is at the US Open, and it's a really, really good look to take at Jordan's swing. We're going to have a look at 2 iron swings and a front on. So first of all, this iron swing here, Jordan's set up, we're kind of just in, well, Jordan's set up left of the target here. So we know Jordan's trying to hit a fade, and it looks like the ball's below his feet. So got to bear that in mind a little bit, and we're slightly inside the line. Good setup though, as we play this club back and pulls it parallel to the ground here. Really good position here, nice square club face really, nice and square, not open, matches the spine angle nicely as we play it to the top. Hinges the wrist nicely, and keep going to the top. And if we pause it at the top, some really interesting things happening here. If we have it paused here, look at that. We'll work our way from the ground up. Look at that left knee. A huge amount of bend in that left knee. And now again, that might be exaggerated because he's on the ball's below his feet here. So he's kind of got to bend the knees a little bit more than he normally would. And the right leg very, very, very straight. Almost dead straight, a little bit of bend in it, but good load into the right side. Spine angle also here, very good. Maintain that spine angle. He's a little bit more over the ball than he normally would be because again, the ball's below his feet. Club kind of looks, is quite laid off. Looks like a bit open, but it's hard to see from this angle. But a lot of bend in that right elbow. Now, as we play this down, again, we're going to notice how he's going to flatten out the shaft and shallow and rotate hard, gets that club face nice and square as we pause it parallel to the ground, gets in a good position here. He maintains his posture and spine angle pretty well through his swing. If we play it slowly down into impact, gets his weight shifting left, good amount of rotation, really open nicely like that. And if we play it through from impact, holds on to that face as he extends through, and it looks like it was a pretty good shot, nice high fade. Let's just play this back once or twice for you guys to have a look at, and we'll have a look at another iron swing, which is a slightly better angle actually. I probably should have a look at that one first before this one. But overall, we can see a good amount about Jordan's swing here. There's a lot to like about his swing. And now let's have a look at a slightly better angle for the iron here. This is again at the US Open. All these swings are pretty much from the US Open. And here, if we pause it, setup, again, good setup position. It looks to me like his hips are slightly further back, weight slightly more on his heels here. But great posture. His posture and setup really, really good. And as we play this back, again, pause it parallel to the ground, we can kind of see how those hands and arms, they kind of do move a little bit away from him and the takeaway. And then but great, look at that club face, really nicely matches his spine angle here. I love to see that as we play it to the top. Really beautiful plane. He brings the club back on nicely in front of him. Like to see that a lot. And if we pause it at the top here, again, very, very laid off, and he does that in a few ways, pretty much mostly by bowing that left wrist is what gets that club so laid off. The right arm, again, quite a lot of bend in that right arm, but lower body's pretty good, pivoting nicely in the lower body. He probably gets his right leg a little bit straighter than I would like it, and a little bit more bend in the left knee than I would personally like it. But still a good position. Obviously, he's a great player. I'm not going to criticize that too much. And then as we play this down, the club's going to drop. Watch as he drops the hands and arms lower in order to come in shallower and a bit flatter. As he rotates hard, if we pulse it parallel to the ground. Good position here. Probably club face slightly open to his spine angle, not quite as square, but great amount of rotation here as we slowly play onto the ball. This is a really good impact position. A lot of rotation, hips and shoulders very, very open to the target. A lot of weight going through his left side through the ball. And as we play this through, extends the right arm, holds on to the club face, ball sets off pretty straight, holds on to that club face really well. And that's kind of one reason Jordan, you know, with his irons, he tends to be pretty straight because he really doesn't have much club face rotation. So let's just play this back once or twice for you guys. Hey, take a look at Jordan's swing here. It is really good. I mean, there's a lot I love about it, and I have seen Jordan play in person a few times, and I really enjoyed watching him play. Really a lot to like about this golf swing. So there we go, Jordan Spieth iron swing. Again, guys, comment down below what you think of that, if there's anything I've missed. Now we're going to have a look at his iron swing from a front on angle, which again is important to like have a look at this angle in any player swing in your own swings as well, but especially in Jordan's case. Now front on iron swing, let's play this back slowly. Again, kind of posture and setup pretty neutral, pretty good posture and setup. Again, if we play this back, and we'll just play it to the top, and we can kind of see he's shifted a little bit laterally. Those hips have moved a little bit laterally to his right or our left from this angle. But he gets a good amount of weight and pressure loaded into that right leg, right side. Again, from this angle, we can see how much bend he has in that left arm. And as we play this down into the ball, he's going to pretty much hold on to that bend as he shifts his weight laterally to the left and rotates. If we pause it at impact here, great impact position here. You can see how much weight and pressure is going through the ball. Hands, a lot of forward shaft lean in that as well. And as we play it through, holds onto the club face, etc. as he comes through to a nice balanced finish on his left side. Let's just play this back once or twice for you guys. And just take a look at, it's good to take a look at the lateral movement in Jordan's golf swing as he takes the club away, moves a bit to the right, and then kind of moves back to the left as he starts to swing down. And this is something which has changed slightly since his since last year and his golf swing last year, which I'll be talking about a bit more in the next video for you guys. And the last video we're going to have a look at is actually Jordan Spieth hitting kind of a pitch shot here. And I love looking at Jordan's short game because he's one of the best short games in the world, especially chipping and pitching and everything. So love watching this. Looks like green set quite high above him, just on a practice green here at the US Open warming up. As he takes the club first of all, a lot of bend in the lower body, sitting a lot lower here, and probably face a lot more open here. As he takes the club back, he's going to let that toe roll open a lot more. Probably has a bit of a weaker grip here too. Brings the club nicely in front of him though, keeps everything connected. If we pause it at the top, hands and arms nicely in front of him still. Not a lot of like rotation with the lower body, keeping that lower body in a fixed position here with that weight on his left side. And as he comes down, shallows the shaft out nicely, comes pretty much down back on the same plane, and he's going to cut across this ball slightly, comes through the very open club face, picks that ball beautifully as he extends through to that finish. Nice little club twirl from Jordan there. Let's have one more look at this, just play it through for you guys. I love watching Jordan's short game. There's a lot to learn from Jordan's chipping and pitching, being one of the best players in the world. Probably his putting as well a little bit. So let me know what you guys think of there. That is Jordan Spieth's golf swing in 2021. We've talked about quite a lot there. There is a lot to talk about. Let me know if there's anything you have noticed which I have not mentioned. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video, Jordan's golf swing in 2020 versus 2021, because it is really interesting to see how much changed. It's very, very, very different There's a lot to kind of talk about there and a lot to point out for you guys, a lot to learn from in what Jordan's been working on or continues to work on with his golf swing. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, comment your thoughts down below. I will see you in that next one, guys. Look forward to that. And as always, guys, grip it and rip it.